All righty, what's good? What's good? Tap in, y'all. Tap in, and we are live. Welcome to the podcast. Right now, I'm gonna call this Beast Talk because we gonna keep it 100. We ain't holding no punches. We coming straight at you with all the relationship, dating, marriage topics. And if you're someone who's looking forward to coming on the podcast and joining us, feel free. Send a message. Write it in the comments. Let us know. We can have up to 10 people on here at a time, right? We can have up to 10 people on the panel at a time. And we welcome your perspective. You know, this is not an echo chamber. We don't expect to, agree with everyone. We don't expect everyone to agree with us. Feel free to bring your perspective. Again, this is not an echo chamber. There are going to be times where we all disagree with each other. You know what I'm saying? So feel free, join the podcast, share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. This particular episode right here will be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So again, feel free to share this and feel free to join in on the conversation. I will be reading the comments. I will post it on the screen and we will answer your questions. Feel free to join the conversation at any point in time. We welcome all perspectives. I'm Maury Speece, aka Speece the Beast. The guest we got right here, my man Rez Wolf, straight out of North Carolina. We both from North Carolina, but we're gonna shoot these topics out there. We're gonna talk on them. And again, if you have anything to add to the conversation, feel free. We welcome all perspectives. Rez, what's going on with you?
What's up, man? It seemed like, man, like the more we do these, the more it's like it be putting us on the spot. Sometimes, like it
Right.
gets it gets juicier and juicier the more we do this, and it's crazy. Like I like shooting it straight from the gut. I write a couple bullets down. To touch, make sure you staying on topic and touching certain things and not going too far off. But it's just something different a lot of times when you go straight from the gut and off the dome with it. Because when I gotta pause and laugh a little bit before I give an answer or my perspective on something, that's you know, just letting them know it's organic. Because
Right.
that's what we need. And not coming off like we just bashing the community and not coming up with solutions or all that type of stuff because that'd be it really, hey, that'd be blocking our blessings really if we ain't, coming out here we just ranting. That's
Right.
we trying to actually actively do something, not come out here and just be like, oh yeah, these are the reasons why this and that, without any solutions. Because then we just talking
Right.
noise then. So let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into this show. We got a juicy one for the people tonight. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, if you got any comments, if you got any topics, if anything you want to discuss, or if you want to join in on a panel, I can join you in at any minute. Right? Feel free to join in at any minute. But anywho, like I was saying, if you guys got any comments, I'm gonna post them on the screen. We're gonna run through some of these questions, some of these topics. If you got a juicy topic you want to hear us speak on, or you want to, hey, come on in. Again, we welcome all perspectives. This is not an echo chamber. This is not an echo chamber. All right, cuz, hey, let's get this thing rocking, man.
Sir.
Uh, let's tap into this whole concept of you got a lot of women out here saying that they don't need men. Now, which one is it? Because sometimes I hear them, they'll post statuses and you'll hear them talking and they'll say they need men, they need a man, send me my husband. I see a lot of them sharing this meme of please send my husband, yay, I'm ready for him, yay. And then on the other end, they speaking this independent talks and they don't need a man and man got to meet all these crazy standards, right? So they being real superficial. And it's like they chasing after a ghost. They chasing after a man who doesn't exist. Now, which one is it? Reyes, please help me out on this one, man. What is it? What's up with these women out here, man? What's going on with them?
A lot of times, what I notice that they got a tendency to pick the wrong. Like it's a lot of time it's the picking.
Okay.
It's like you can't go out here and be like, I want the Shasta lemon lime. Oh, that didn't work out. I ain't like the way that tasted. Let me go get the Sprite.
Right,
Or I don't like the
right.
way the Sprite tastes. Let me go get some Sierra Mist.
Okay.
You know, and then to go off of that is you gotta think about like just like you said on social media. Like I don't need no man. I got all this and got all that. I'm gonna need him to meet me where I'm at.
Okay.
Um, but then on the flip side, I'm scrolling 2 o'clock in the morning. I love hard. You got memes of two people cuddling, a little cartoon, two people cuddling, and all that. Um,
Okay.
and this and that, and it's a lot of that. A lot of that's noise. A lot of them just ain't been introduced to the right person, or like sometimes on both ends, people fumble. They ain't gonna always admit that. A lot of
Okay.
times they're gonna tell you something that they only gonna tell stuff to make them look good.
Okay.
So that's one side of it.
So do they need them or not? Just get to do they need them or not?
They need them. They just don't know what they need them for.
Okay. They know what they need them for, right?
That can go into that how I feel versus logic too, though.
Right. Right. Right.
So you know, it depends. It depends on
Well, well, I say they do need them. You know what I'm saying? And this goes both ways, right? We all need each other, men and
right.
women. Let's just
That's a
let's just
fact.
shoot it straight.
That's a
We
fact.
need each other enough for the games. We need each other one way or the other.
That's a
Now,
fact.
in regards to a lot of say women who are independent, when it comes to this whole thing, they're gonna have to call him one way or another, right? So it's gonna be whether it's a service that needs to be fulfilled, whether this is companionship, whether this is sexual needs, whether it's to
Mhm.
procreate. I mean, there are so many reasons that she's gonna need them. She's gonna need them for leadership, right? She's gonna need a man for guidance, right? There are so many different plethoras that I can tap into when we talk about this independence and women not needing a man and all this other stuff, right? So let's get into this other part, right? What disqualifies a woman? I see a lot of these women are on social media. In your mind, what are you seeing out here on social media when you're scrolling? What would disqualify if you were a man out here looking? What would disqualify her from her social media page or whatever you see on the news feed? What would disqualify a woman in your eyes?
Well, you know me like anybody. Like I like to put some crazy stuff up there on Facebook. I like to put up some funny stuff, some edgy stuff, but it has to be to a degree somewhat tasteful. You know, um, I've seen you talking about specifically women, or you talking about both?
Women, what would disqualify them? Let's get to the chase. Let's stop beating around the bush. What
Okay,
would disqualify them?
if you're on that bucket naked, we're gonna start with that. You got
Okay.
them, yeah, you got them cheeks out all the time. It's not, especially if it's somebody like me, right? I got daughters. That
Okay.
eventually is gonna spill off to them in the long run. Like, let's be real. Like
Okay.
now, if you had to ask me if I wanted to pick between somebody with some scrubs on, that's full body, right?
Yeah.
Versus somebody like half naked. You know what I mean? Like naked, but still want to take a selfie holding their stomach.
Right.
You
Right.
want to cover. You want to cover up everything. You want to
Oh,
cover up
I
everything
see.
right here. Let all that show.
Uh, I got you.
Versus
Uh,
that, like, come on, man. Like, if you got to leave something to the imagination, man. That's crazy.
right.
And I
Right.
don't want you say y'all do get together, right? You
Okay.
put both of y'all in risk in the public.
Okay.
Put both of y'all at risk. Ain't nobody trying to be guarding you or protecting you because you dress a certain way. That shit's crazy. Um,
So okay, you say the way they dressing.
yeah,
What is that? That's one thing. What else?
talking sexually online all the time. Like
Okay.
that's a big deal. Like,
So that's gonna disqualify.
oh yeah, that disqual for me it does.
Right.
Cause me that's just advertising. That's marketing. That makes her a good entrepreneur, but for the wrong reasons.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, like
Right.
it's like, come on, man, you got to make stuff. It's got to be tasteful, man.
Okay. So he's saying so far he's saying what's gonna disqualify a woman on social media. He's saying if you're a woman out there and you showing everything, right? You got all these booty shots, you on there twerking, you on there doing all that. And then also you got all these statuses, you ain't doing nothing but talking sexual and what you'll do to a man and all this other stuff and what you won't do. And he's saying when he see that, he's like, you are off the list. You are no longer eligible to get a quality man when
And it's
you're
bad.
showing all this stuff on social media. Hey, y'all lady better get right now. Get your
And
mind right.
it's bad
Man,
because
turn away.
they might not really be like that in real life, but when you put that status up there and it's not one that you shared, it's
Right.
you actively typing that. I see
Yeah.
thought pocket. I see thought pocket.
Thought. Okay.
Thought city girl, all of that. Like
Uh,
nobody should be knowing about, that chocolate chip coochie is supposed to be exclusive to whoever you talking
okay.
to. It ain't supposed to
Yeah.
be it ain't supposed to be for everybody on Facebook. Like how they gonna take you
Right.
seriously? I mean, depending on what you advertising to too. Like if she trying to market to a certain type of guys,
Yeah.
hey, okay, fine, but for a man, a quality man, we ain't going for that shit,
Right. He said we ain't going for it.
man. No, we ain't going for that. Ain't
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else out there that would disqualify a woman from being a good candidate for you?
those things are big, but a lot of it is. So that's the other thing. That's another part about it. Facebook ain't real, but
Right.
Facebook is also a part, like it or not, it's a part of our identity now. Not the. It's like branding. Like you your own brand, you your own entity. Like if you marketing chaos and dysfunction all the time. When that's what everybody sees, it's almost like an application for you. It's almost like excuse me, not application, a resume. What do you want on your resume? I don't
Okay.
mind coming off comedic on my resume. I don't mind putting stuff up there about my cars and bikes and kids, stuff like that, little jokes and stuff like that. But for me to come off and be like, hey, I'm just displaying my body, my damn growing size and all of that. Like, come
Right.
on, man. Who
Okay.
gonna, who
Well,
gonna take that seriously?
that's true. That's true. Let me add to that. Another thing, what about vacations and all that? What about when you see a lot of vacations and doing a lot of traveling and all that stuff? Does that turn you off, or you like, okay, that ain't no big deal? How you feel about all the traveling and all the vacations and stuff like that?
Ain't nothing wrong with going on vacations, bro. But if I see you doing that on a regular basis all the time, to me, hey, to me that shit look expensive to me. Like I'm kind of
Okay.
like, um, that may not even be the case, but outside looking in, you see them going shopping all the time. You see them going on trips all the time.
Right.
And with the way people's thought process is now, there a lot of people are like, oh, they could have their own money. Ain't nothing wrong with having your own money. Um, However, let's be real. A lot of them they go in there thinking, yeah, I got my own money, but you're gonna have to help me out with a couple things if you're gonna be in here. Ain't nothing wrong with helping them out. It has to be practical, yo. Like if you want to do stuff like that, it's got to be in the budget. If it ain't in the budget, I don't care what Facebook look like, Instagram, where like people in tropic places all the time and shit. It is.
So
If it
you
ain't
shutting down all the traveling and all that? They doing all this
no,
traveling,
it just gotta be practical. Like don't be coming off here acting like we rich.
right?
Cause
So if you
then the next minute they on a post, then they got back home and they like, oh God gonna make a way, I know it. He gonna see me through it. And a lot of times they talking about their bills behind or some shit. Oh my God, how I'm gonna do this? So,
right,
because these trips, a lot of times these trips cost like a couple months worth of rent,
right,
mortgage,
right,
bills, living expenses, probably like a couple months worth a lot of times.
right,
And
right.
if you go do that and let's go on and be real, most of us don't have it like that.
Okay, that's true.
Most of us don't. And a
Okay,
guy going in looking at that, he's gonna be like, unless we practical enough to budget, I'm gonna be expected to pay the bills for the roof and cover some trips. So sometimes maybe you should follow them a little bit more to get to know them and figure out a couple more things. But
forget all that, man.
initially
Forget that.
up front, nah, they look it's a turn off.
Forget that. If I see vacation after vacation after vacation, you off the list. I ain't
It's,
gonna beat around the bush. I ain't gonna do all that you
you can't.
doing.
It's not practical, yo.
If I see all the vacations and trips left and right, I'm out of there.
It ain't
You
practical.
understand? That's a done deal. It's no
It
way around it.
it
You
look
know what
like
I'm
a money
saying?
pit, don't it? With somebody
Right.
who make a decent living or whatever, and they see somebody going a bunch of places all the time. It's gonna look like a money pit to a guy.
Exactly.
Let's be
Exactly.
real.
So, ladies, y'all putting all that. Hey, a lot of that's gonna disqualify you. And some of y'all thinking like, oh well, a certain type of guy that ain't gonna bother him. I'm telling you, even guys who make good money, if all you doing is vacation on vacation on vacation on vacation, I'm telling you, these guys is turning the other way. You need to simplify your lifestyle, live a lifestyle that's more reasonable, and then you can climb from there. But if you coming into the picture and all you doing is traveling, 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 another thing he mentioned, you showing your body, you doing all these booty pics, you twerking all over the place. Another thing he mentioned, if you're on there and all your statuses or most of them are sexual statuses, what you gonna do, what you ain't gonna do, so on and so forth, that's gonna be a problem. You know, that's gonna be a problem, and most guys are gonna have a problem with that. Bottom line, there's nowhere around it. Most guys are gonna have a problem with that. Now, let me segue. Let me segue because just like we mentioned, I mentioned those things about the women twerking and posting certain things on their page. Let me ask you this while I got you right here. A lot of this stuff is things that a lot of black men accept. I'm going to say it again. A lot of the things we mentioned is a lot of things that black men accept.
I know
So
what
let
you
me
mean.
ask you this. Do black men have lower standards when it comes to choosing their women than other men do? I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. Do black men have lower standards when it comes to choosing men than other groups of men do?
Yes, sir. And that's
Okay.
because um it goes back to this social media thing going on. Even a lot of women that's not going on trips and all this type of stuff a lot, they they're seeing these images. If they're seeing these images, and if they're constantly seeing it, and when you look online, you see a bunch of people. You can go down your timeline. You see different people doing different things. You know what I mean? Buying stuff,
Right.
going on trips, getting new cars, new houses, finding somebody cool. It looks like a lot of people are doing it more than them, but in reality, that's not what's happening. You're just seeing it so much that you're thinking that that's what the expectations should be. Um, as far as which makes their unrealistic expectations higher for the guy.
Okay.
And when it comes to the guys excellent with guys being conscious of that now, they've set their expectations lower because they like their expectations are so high. Let me see if I can at least get in the pants. So they're accepting more and more stuff that they shouldn't, just to try to get in good with them, at least for a brief moment. And that turned into what? That turned into tricking. That turned into simping.
Okay.
You gotta have your own. You gotta have your own sense of identity and know some type of value in yourself as a man. Just like she need to have a whole. She need to have some sense of value in herself and set your own boundaries, expectations versus, oh, I know she gonna want this and that, so let me just accept it. Nah, you gotta have your standards, yo. That's character building right there. You gotta start working on your own character if that's the case.
You talking about as a man?
As a man, work on your character, building your character, your identity. Start improving on yourself. You'll start seeing that there's more women that will fit your needs, are willing to work with you while you work with them, because ain't nobody everybody comes with some kind of baggage. Is what you're willing to accept from them and what they willing to accept from you. So what, a lot of people, they might look past you or whatever, and you just be like, oh, I'm gonna do whatever I can to try to get this person attention, blah blah blah. Start, you know what I'm saying? That's that ain't you gotta man, you gotta
sound
feel
like
secure with yourself.
sound like you tap dancing. Just call it for what it is, man. Stop doing all that tap dancing.
Yeah,
Do the
go ahead and
brothers
say what
have
I'm.
they got lower standards?
They do. They
Yeah.
do. They doing whatever they can just to get attention or sex. And that ain't, man, this stuff is everywhere. What do you
Right.
want?
Okay.
What do you want? How far are you willing to go for it? You know. And that's another thing. That's a part of knowing too. Like, hey, a lot of black women expectations higher than a lot of other races for their men, which makes it harder
Right.
to work together. That's not discounting sorry men and all that, but even for the decent guys, they have to. It's too much expected of us in general,
Say what
and a
now?
lot of us is a lot of it is unrealistic.
Oh, for the men.
hmm There's a lot of
So
unrealistic
that
expectations.
has something to do with. I'm saying, do they have lower standards?
Yeah,
So
they
you
do because
saying
they're trying to.
yes?
Yeah, because they're trying to get whatever they can. They
Okay.
a lot of them moving off of desperation.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with it. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, let me answer that question. Our brothers most certainly have lower standards when it comes to choosing women than other races of men. Let me break this down to you. There are a lot of things that a lot of brothers will accept that other races of men, by and large, won't accept. Now, there are certain things that all races of men will accept. Let's just keep it 100, right?
hmm
So it's not that this man will accept this, but this race of man won't. But I'm talking about the vast majority, right? The vast majority. Let me give some examples. So when it comes to a woman's weight or appearance, a brother is more likely to be accepting of his woman being overweight or wearing wigs or wearing her hair a certain way or maybe even not even having a decent grade of hair. A brother is more than likely to accept that versus men of other races. That is going to play a large part as to if they're going to deal with that woman or not. Now, listen to me. I'm talking about men who are becoming the best versions of themselves. So I'm not saying a big sloppy man from another race. Yeah, of course, he's going to take whatever he can get. But I'm talking about men of other races who are doing well for themselves. Those guys are very particular in the type of woman who he bonds himself with. They're very particular,
And you got
even
to be at
down
least
to her. Go ahead.
health conscious. You got to be at least health conscious. And when you're saying like you got to have a super Coke bottle shape, but if you know, because life happens, But as far as being health conscious and willing to work on yourself constantly, that's a big deal. Like you said, we
Well,
we
hold
t-
on. We'll get to that.
yeah.
Because right now I'm breaking down the men. So you talking about the women. I mean I get that. We're gonna
hmm
step into the correction. Yeah, we're gonna get them in line. Don't worry
You
about
talking
that.
about
We're gonna
versus
get that.
standards as a whole.
So
I get.
I'm talking about what these men are going for, right? So again, those men are very particular with who they're gonna deal with and who they're not gonna deal with, right? And they ain't taking no chances, even down to the etiquette and the manners and how she talks, and in a lot of cases, if she's educated or what kind of family does she come from, you know, how many guys has she dated or been in relationships with, and or even married. These guys are looking at all of those things, right? They're looking into all of those different categories, really dissecting what type of woman they have and what type of woman they're bonding themselves with. Where a lot of guys, a lot of the brothers, let's just say, nah, they gonna take what they can get, or they gonna, oh, she got a fat butt, or she
Yep.
got her own place, or she got her own car, or she got a job, or all these other things that we look at to try to qualify her. We're looking for reasons to qualify her. To whereas a lot of other guys, they may be looking to disqualify, the woman. And men overall, of course, are more accepting than women. But when you start breaking the different groups of men down, you'll start to see the differences in how this group may choose versus how another group may choose. So by and large, we do have the lowest standards when choosing a woman. What you got?
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It's true. It's like it's more moving off of, well, like you just said, we all we all are
Uh-huh.
more accepting of a lot of stuff that women do, as guys in general.
Hmm.
But that's the whole point. Standards too low, you got to start setting your own standards. Period.
Right.
Like because every woman ain't the same.
Right.
So
That's
with
true.
that being said, like you should be aware of that and be willing to, be like, all right, I'm going to accept this. I'm not going to accept that. That
Right.
ain't what I'm looking for. And acknowledge that ain't what you're looking for. Yeah, like moving off of desperation, man, to mess you up. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening too often.
Right. What about the attitudes? What about do we accept the attitudes, the lack of submissiveness, the masculine energy? What about those things? Are we are we accepting a lot of masculine energy out of the women versus men of other races? Who may or may not put up with anything like that. They more strict, more firm. Even as we speak about men around the world, right? Are we accepting a lot of stuff that would not be accepted elsewhere? Let me say
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Like it's a threshold, man. It's a threshold. We got a lot of this independent movement thing happening, which it really shouldn't be. There's a difference
Uh-huh.
between independence and self-sufficient,
Right.
you
Okay.
know, because I really don't want to hear that shit. You're talking about how independent you are. What's if you independent, you just basically saying like there's no room for a guy in your space.
Okay.
Am I wrong? So being self sufficient is a different thing. Like I think a lot of times they mean they just self sufficient because being able to afford a roof over your own head without a guy, transportation, taking care of the kids without a guy, you know, keeping stuff situated. That's being self sufficient, and that's what you're supposed to do as an adult. As an adult, that's not a plus. It ain't a. It's not. That just means you able to function as an adult. So that
Okay.
independent thing is that don't hold no weight with no, to
Okay.
me, don't hold no weight.
Okay. Okay. Don't hold no weight. All right. All right. Let's segue then. So look, let me ask you this. What separates the men from the boys? Right. That's something we've talked about before. In your opinion, what separates the men from the boys in the society? Like what separates them?
You know how they always say, know your worth, queen.
Right.
You can know your worth as a guy, as a king too. Like ain't no queen without a king in the castle.
Right.
Like was Cinderella a queen before she got into the castle?
No.
Okay, so like yeah, so that's the same thing with the guys. Like you gotta those qualities that that king or that prince will have, or what you gotta start working for because you can't you can't be no dependent like no super dependent guy trying to trying to hold down the fort for kids, a woman, not even deeper than that, supporting your family. You know, eventually you want to get back to your mama. You know what I mean? You don't want to live off of
Right.
her. You don't want to live off of her for a while. Get mad because she don't let you borrow $20 to go to the store. Boys, men go take care of business. Men are health conscious. Men have certain standards for themselves. Men have certain standards for their women. Men have certain standards for their kids, their environment. Boys, a lot of times, they don't believe in delayed gratification.
Right.
They they more on the turn up than actually building.
Right.
They buy more consumable stuff that's pretty much gone within a few seconds, few minutes.
Right. Okay.
That's like going to drink and eat and party all the time, but you can barely make ends meet. So you just sitting around celebrating failure versus trying to figure out ways to improve yourself or make a better environment or put you in a better mental space for other people and yourself. So that's the difference to me between a boy and a man.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool, man. Um, well, to me, I'll just say this: I will consider a male, a man. Let's just say once he reaches the age of 20, right? Because he's no longer a teenager, right? Can't call him a
Right.
teenager. So I'll call him a man. Once he hits 20, he's a man. Now, whether he's a good man, a sorry man, a lousy man, a lazy man, all these other things that I would put in front of the word man,
Not gonna
right?
say I'm not gonna say it today.
Right. Okay, what I'm saying that's gonna make it. That's gonna make the difference. But I give you respect. I call you a man. I ain't gonna call you a boy. A lot of people like to play games with the semantics, but no, I call you a man. But again, depending on what you got going on in your life, do you have your own car? Do you have a job? Do you have a place to stay? You know what I'm saying? Are you leeching off of anybody else? Are you taking care of your children? Things like that. That's when I add a word in front of man. But when you hit 20, right, you're no longer a teenager. So I call you a man. You're a man. So again, that could be broken down in so many different ways, but that's pretty much why I draw the line, and we getting all of that. Now, every man should be becoming or striving to become the best version of himself, mentally, spiritually, financially, uh, verbally. I mean, in every way, right? Um, I believe I mentally, I said physically, spiritually. Those are the main three. Emotionally, right? In all those ways, a man should be becoming the best version of himself. You know, so it sounded that he might have went out. He gonna have to come back in. But yes, that's what separates the men from the boys in my eyes, right? No doubt about it, no question. But again, I'm not here to call a grown man a boy just because he isn't moving a certain kind of way, right? I ain't gonna do that. When he comes back, in which he's back right now, let's add him back to the stage. All right, there you go.
My fault.
All right. Oh, you're good. You're good. So yeah. So I just topped that off by saying that once you reach a certain age, I ain't gonna call you nothing less than a man, but you are to, let's just say, take care of your responsibilities, right? That's gonna be a big part of that. That's gonna be. Did you have anything to add before we shift gears here?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you said, it's just being as self sufficient as possible, being as solid, being able to stand on your own 2 feet as solid as you possibly can. Everybody got their hurdles and all that type of stuff. But actively, we could touch base later on some solutions to that or some suggestions on how we could some advice from us on what they can do to improve. Man, even if we got to do it from a financial standpoint later on another segment or something. But yeah, that's what it come down to, being able to stand on your own 2 feet.
Let me ask you this. One day I was watching this guy's channel, and he made the comment. He said that it is weak for a man to live with a woman, right? He said it's weak for a man to live with a woman. And I asked him to clarify now, do you mean, if he move into her place and he needs help, or do you mean like living with a woman, period? And this guy doubled down and he said living with a woman, period, is weak. And I was like, huh? So anyway, what are your thoughts on that? He was saying, period. Even if y'all together, his whole thing was living with a woman is weak. And I had to go back and forth with him. What are your thoughts on that, man? Because I know we were just talking about separating the boys from the men, but you got guys out here in some of these communities, they're saying that it's weak to even live with a woman, right? What are your thoughts on that?
If you would have gave me my initial answer would have been like, yeah, because I would have been like, the answer is there's no straight answer to that because there's different circumstances. Just like you said, um, are they helping or are they just living? Leeching, yeah, you pretty weak. Let's go on and
Okay.
call it what it is. You weak, bro.
Okay.
Because you that's basically like going from being breastfed from your mom's to just moving in and being breastfed from your lady friend or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you going in there and you add value, you you present with her kids if she has kids, you helping out with bills, you working on a budget with her, y'all working on evolving and leveling up together. Or let's say you came into a rough patch and that person knew you and knew how you normally move. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because things happen. You might have came up, something happened, you got laid off from the job, and you had a
Okay.
lot going on. But you're actively, she sees you actively putting in an effort to improve and get yourself back on your feet.
Okay.
And as you're doing it, you adding value to that person too. You know,
Okay. So you saying it's cool as long as you add value, basically.
yeah. If you're a leech, yeah, it's
Yeah.
weak. It's
Okay.
weak. You know, let's call it for what it is. You weak.
But
You know what I mean?
would you advise men to make that happen though? Like say you got a single men out there, would you advise them to find somebody and create their household and all that good stuff, or would you say not to do it? What's your advice on that?
before you even meet somebody, your goal should be to try to that go back to the boys and the men. Your goal should be to try to make yourself as solid as possible. Working on establishing a roof over your head and some transportation and different sources of income. But it would depend if you were to go that route. It depends on what type of woman you're dealing with.
Okay.
It depends on what type of woman you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a man, that's another. You might not want to do that, bro. Might not want to do that because she gonna go tell you exactly what you can and can't do in that crib.
Are you talking about a masculine woman?
Yep,
No, we
that's
ain't talking
exactly.
about that.
But that's what I
Look.
mean. It depends. It would depend on the type of woman you moving in with.
No, that's not the
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
The question is, should you advise young men to create that household? They don't. Before we get to know if we're gonna assume she's a feminine woman that he found. We're assuming she's a feminine woman. Are you pushing men to go into that, or are you telling me no, do your own thing and whatever happens, happens?
Nope.
Ah,
No. Nah.
okay.
Don't do it.
Don't do
Don't
it.
don't do it. Don't do
Uh,
it. Build your castle, man.
okay. As a single man, you telling them to build a castle.
Build your castle. You want to be a king, build your castle.
Okay.
You want
Okay.
balance. You want balance anyways.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. All right. So what I say is, men out there, do not forfeit your helpmate. I'm gonna say it again. Do not forfeit your helpmate. I think that men should absolutely strive to create that man and woman household. You should absolutely, especially in the climate of the economy today, especially today. Now, of course, she's got to be the right woman, right? She's got to move a certain way. She's got to have a certain level of respect for you. She's got to cooperate you to a large degree, right? She's got to be the right one. She's got to be a God-fearing woman, right? As you are a God-fearing man, because you have to chase after God first before you can lead anybody. But young men out there, or men of all ages, you should absolutely strive to bond with a woman in the same household. Now Red, I hear him. He's saying build your own castle. He's saying do this, do that, but do not forfeit your helpmate. Right? In the Bible, in Genesis 2:18, he created a woman to be a man's suitable helper.
So
Do
your
not
answer is
forfeit that.
yes.
Do not forfeit that, men. Do not forfeit that by trying to be macho and I can do it on my own. I got this over here. You got that. Bond with the women. Create that man and woman household.
So your
That's what
answer
I
is
got on there.
so,
Yeah.
so your answer is yes.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You men should absolutely be striving to bond with a woman and create that man and woman household. It
That's
makes life 10 times easier. It
I
makes life 10
agree.
times easier.
I agree, but I believe that's being established over time. So
Okay.
that's why I say up front, get your own crib, man.
Sure. Sure.
You
Sure.
know, get your own crib, especially if you don't have no bills, yo, you ain't got too many bills and all that type of stuff. It's a different type of ease of mind. You ease your mind when you're able to provide for yourself.
Right.
You know, and then too, say when you get to know this person, she gon' she gonna want to eventually hang with you, yo. You don't want to be sitting there like, where we gonna go?
Right. 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 Right.
Where we gonna go?
So you saying he
Your mama
should buy?
home?
Yeah. So they should bond with the. What's your? I mean, yeah.
Huh?
So they should bond.
They should bond, but at the same time, man, work on getting your own first.
Right. And of course, and ladies and gentlemen, as I say this, I'm saying, there's marriage involved and all of this. I'm saying it. I'm painting the whole picture. So I ain't saying, you're a single man and then you get with her and y'all just bond just to bond. I'm throwing marriage in there as well. Marriage is on the table.
Right.
I'm involved in all of that into the picture when I say moving in and things of that nature. I'm talking about within the marriage. I'm talking about within the marriage.
Yeah, right. And see,
So,
I don't want to. You don't want to be in a position where, um, if she don't want to talk to you or y'all don't want to work things out, you don't want one of them to be like, get out.
right. Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm not the person for you or we ain't working out, I want it to be because of certain qualities or disagreements or traits that you didn't like about me. I don't want it to be like, oh, you pissed me off. Get your stuff and get out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Versus, all right, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to the house.
Okay.
You know, you gonna not like me because you you gonna if we ever have a problem, you're not gonna be able to use that against me. You're not gonna be able to use the roof over my head as leverage. You know,
Right.
that's my take on that.
Okay.
Oh, you can't drive my car no more because I'm mad at you.
Okay. I hear you.
Girl, I got three cars, girl. You know,
Oh, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All that
like
sounds good.
come on. But
Yeah.
honestly, no, I agree with the bonding part. If you really want to get to know somebody, yeah, y'all gonna have to cross that. Y'all gonna have to
Right.
cross that bridge where y'all experiencing, how y'all mesh together under one roof.
Right.
But initially, you should be striving to get yourself established. You want somewhere peaceful to lay your head. Why you single? Somewhere you can lay your head peacefully when you get off of work, your safe space, your own transportation where you ain't gotta be like you don't want to be worried about that type of stuff, man.
Okay.
So
So they should do it. All right. Well, let's segue into the main topic. I hear you. Let's
mm,
segue into the main topic. Hey, man. With all that being said, who's the prize, man? Is it the men or the women, man? Are men the prize? Are women the prize? Who's the prize? Who is the prize? That's the $1 million question, man. Who
we
is the
can we
prize?
can dive into it, but I'm gonna give you my answer first, cause I know
Okay.
you ain't gonna talk about me tiptoeing on this one, Maury.
Okay. Well, let's get it. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping, man.
You want me to say it?
Yes, sir.
Neither.
Oh, okay.
Neither.
You said neither one of the
Neither
prize.
one of them prizes, man. Y'all got a
Okay.
false sense of reality out here, like thinking that social media is actually who you are. It's like that's part of your identity and all that type of stuff. But you really don't you really don't have as many. You have a lot of options, but you don't have a lot of quality options.
Okay.
You just going off of stop basing people off of your phone screen.
Okay.
Oh, it look good online. Look real good online. Realistically, man, this is not these ain't celebrities, man. They can take
Okay.
a good picture. They take a real good picture. I take pictures sometimes in the car, the truck, you know, having a good day. It's nice outside, showing them doing with the kids, make stuff look all real glamorous and all that. Women do it all the time. I still ain't figured out how to take a selfie like a woman. It's like they can just pull the phone out, no matter what angle. They got the perfect angle. False sense of reality though. Like all them DM messages you getting, people lusting over you, even guys. A bunch of women hearting your stuff. That ain't how life is in real life. You ain't got a bunch of guys lining up at your front door or chasing you around town, and you guys ain't got no chicks all on the couch behind them, rubbing their shoulders, massaging their back, feeding them food, feeding them grapes. Nah,
Right.
in real life, even the prettiest ones or the most successful guys or whatever, or successful women, they really just they logging out. They going to work. They going to food line. They taking care of their kids. They taking care of business. They
So
living
you
their life.
saying neither one is the prize?
Neither one of them is the prize. It's either gonna be a quality man or a quality woman. It ain't. It all of them ain't. All of them ain't the same. And ain't no quality. Ain't no quality penis. Ain't no quality vagina. They
It
all.
ain't.
Nope. It's not. If it's attached to a quality person,
Yeah.
okay, that's different. That's different. But people delusional, man.
Right.
They delusional. False sense of reality, man. That's not. That's not. That's not degrading nobody as a man or a woman. But we gotta get off of this. That's the whole. That's one of the whole problems with the gender war in the first place in the black community. It's like
What's
everybody
rare?
can, huh?
What's rare?
You say what now?
Which one is rare? Yeah, let's cut to the chase.
What's rare?
Yes,
Which one is rare? As far as what?
the man or the woman, the quality. High quality. Which one is rare?
Which one is rare?
Which one is rare? Let me help you out.
Go ahead.
No, no, you gonna tell me which one is rare. I mean, if they both rare, that's cool. But which one is rare?
Okay, so let me go ahead and answer that because I'm gonna answer it from the guy's perspective because we've been talking about leading, right? A black man fell in that leading, the majority. Well, I mean a good portion of us, right? It's
Which one is rare? You got people watching. You stuck. Which
yeah,
one is rare?
yeah. See, that's how you know this from the gut.
Yeah.
It's not that it's more rare. So you getting me to answer the question as I'm going on with it. It is
Okay.
more rare. Being so let me fix that. Being
Oh
that
Lord,
being
he
that,
gonna
nope
jump
no 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 look
around.
look 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 look. Being that because that was a good question. Being that there's more, we have a big problem with men, black men leading.
Okay.
That would make the guy more rare.
Okay.
So
Answer the
so
question.
so that's the question. That's the answer.
Okay. Which one is rare?
Let me fix that again. The man in the black community, a quality
Mm-hmm.
man, is the prize.
Okay. There you
Sorry,
go. He said it.
sorry.
He said it. Yeah. He jumped out there.
If we having
Okay.
problems with guys, black men leading, right?
Okay.
That would make a quality man, a quality black man in the
Yeah.
community the prize
Okay.
because there's not as many. So
There
it's
you
not like I'm
go.
just saying that's not like me bashing women or nothing like that. But let's
Yeah.
be realistic.
Now,
That's the problem that we have.
are you saying on the opposition that they are plentiful? Is that what you're saying on the opposition?
More so than guys.
Okay, that's fair. I just want to
Cause don't get
know.
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We got to comb. Don't get me wrong. As a quality guy, we got to comb through them too.
Yeah, sure,
But
sure.
but there's it's it make it, man. I'm
uh,
not bashing us, man. I'm
yeah,
just saying it's let's call it
yeah,
for what it is, right?
yeah, yeah. Keep it 100.
Yeah, like
It's
let's call
beast
it for
talk.
what it is. It's more rare for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you saying the man? There you guys heard it. He said the man
It,
is the prize.
it is what it is, man.
Yeah. He said men are the prize in this community in this dating world. It's
And
more
when he
rare, and
says
that's true.
man,
That's a fact. And
when he
let me
says
take
man, he says quality man.
right quality man. Yeah. And don't let me step on you. So I will furthermore say this. You guys are watching this, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, check this out. When you scroll down your news feed, when you scroll down your timeline, you are more likely to see more women complaining about men, bashing men, saying they're looking for this, saying they're looking for that. You're more likely to see that than the other way around. You may see men make a comment here or there, or a status here or there, or a video here or there about the women. But all day long, if you scroll up and down that timeline, if you scroll up and down your news feed on Facebook, all you're gonna see is a lot of women copying and sharing a whole lot of statuses about men, what they ain't doing, what they gotta do. I was on there a little while ago. I've seen women talking to men, telling them what they should do on a first date, like flowers, take them somewhere. They don't want to just go to the house. I mean, it's all type of stuff that these women is talking about that they're expecting out of men. And that feat right there alone should let you know that it's harder for them to find or bond with a quality guy, because you can find a quality guy all day long.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You might just qualify for him hitting it. He probably ain't even gonna really seal the deal with you. He juggling you. He juggling between you and somebody else, or you and five others, or whatever the case may be. Right. But for you to land right and get that permanent bond with that quality man, that's rare. Like that's rare for a lot of y'all women watching. It's rare for y'all. Let's just call it for what it is. Call a spade a spade. So at the end of the day, with that being said, men are the prize. Now, does that mean that there aren't good quality? It's a lot of great quality women out here
That's a fact.
who are wife material and worthy of it all. And when I say it all, I mean they're worthy of it all.
And that's a compliment to them. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Uh huh.
But
Yeah, you know.
you can't be you
What's up,
can't
big
walk
dog?
around like you are. It's not like I said. It's not discounting the quality women, but you can't walk around and be like I'm the prize when it's rare when it's less valuable men out there at the same time. If there's
Right.
less valuable men, then how can you be the prize? That's not
Right.
saying that's not discounting a quality woman, but you have to put your ego to the side and realize what you're saying. You
Right.
can't have it both ways. You can't
Right.
you can't be the prize knowing that there's less quality men out there. Like
Right.
that makes no sense.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
moving around like there's not that many of you out here
True.
is is unrealistic. It's
Right.
unrealistic. That's a you that's
Appreciate you,
that's
Rod.
having a false sense of reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Shout out to Rod Lewis coming in on YouTube. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate the sub, man. Appreciate it. We got much more content coming out, man. Keep tapping in,
Right.
man. Keep tapping in. But yeah, that's 100 though. You know what I'm saying? That's 100. And a lot of women gonna have to realize that. Now, back in the day, maybe tables was turned. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's where they came off as saying that, oh, win the prize, win the prize, I'm the prize, win the prize. But now, as these men get more scarce, the tables have turned. You know what I'm saying? So, there's something we got to lean into, and we got to get the women and the men on the same page. But it's hard for these women to find this guy, especially now that you got social media. These women are coming more superficial by the day. And so with them raising the standard so high for the men, oh man, to find a man who they want, to bond with a man who they want, not a guy who just gonna come through, hit it, and keep it moving and hit you up whenever he want to do something. I'm talking about a true bond, a serious relationship, a marriage. That's gonna take a lot. I mean, the caliber of guy that's gonna have to be for the women in this day and age, that's gonna be a challenge. See, it's easy to go out here and grab a woman. I mean, not a quality. I'm saying you're gonna have to really
Yeah.
dig to get that
You gotta
quality.
come
But
through.
from a general standpoint, though, there's a large pool of women out there, right? There's a large pool of women out there. You can throw a rock and you're gonna hit one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see,
But
the other problem with that though
yes, sir.
is it makes it they make themselves more scarce as far as finding quality men because they walk past them. They
Right,
shut
that's
down
true.
from them. So like
Right,
even though there are a lot of quality women, they kind of a lot of them disqualify themselves by not
right,
even giving a quality guy a shot, or they looking for the wrong stuff in a guy.
right,
And so that's another factor to add in that makes it even worse. Remember, like the other day we was talking about. If I go outside and I look at you go out and you look at the whole apartment complex, right?
right,
And you see all these units. A lot of single women in those units. That's just going. They going to work and going home, but they
Okay,
shutting it.
I got you.
They kind of like
Mhm.
eliminating themselves from. It's
Yeah,
already hard enough, you know.
yeah,
So that's a lot to think about, you
yeah.
know,
Are you saying they should be out more?
or making themselves more available,
Okay,
you know, because you pretty much eliminating yourself from the picture. You know,
right,
if it's hard enough to find a quality guy, and you go to work and go home, close the door, scroll down TikTok all day, you ain't gonna find nobody.
right, right,
You could be leaving, you know, and that goes back. They could also be bad at picking, finding the wrong guys. Be single. You know, post this guy, be single in another couple months because
right.
but you keep picking the same type of guy, and you might be leaving that quality guy in the friend zone because
Oh, that's true.
it might not even be like a quality person. It might not even be uh this a person that ain't qualified. It's just not what you used to seeing,
Right,
you know, and you got so many thirsty guys after you that you can't even tell the difference between them and a guy who's genuine, you
right,
know.
right,
So yeah, that doubles down on the prize thing though.
right. And a lot of,
But you're making it harder for you to find one.
hmm yeah. And that point you just made about the friend zone, there have been a lot of guys to come out and say that a lot of women, your future husband is potentially in your friend zone, right? You got all these guys in the friend zone. Your future husband, you complaining about not being able to find a man or bond with a certain type of man, all this other stuff. A lot of your future husbands are in you all's friend zone, right? You've said he's just a friend. He doesn't qualify because you're looking for this superficial guy who, you're hoping to run into on the internet, whether he's,
Mhm.
making thousands of dollars a year, or a guy who looks a certain way, or a guy who lives in a certain kind of house, or drives a certain car, or dresses a certain way, or has a certain type of jewelry on, right? You're looking for this guy who's living a certain type of lifestyle. And the fact of the matter is, you're never going to probably bond with this imaginary guy who you got in your head. You're never going to bond with
And
him.
guess what though? Like a lot of times they don't realize it. That person in that friend zone could actually evolve to that person that's in your
That's true.
dreams. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you
Yeah.
just ain't giving it a chance to even happen.
Right.
You know, and then that you could be sometimes that's going off of how you feel versus logic too. Because he
Right.
might be checking off a bunch of boxes, but you just looking over at this. And we ain't talking about attraction or nothing. Might be
Okay.
attractive in everything, right?
Yeah.
But you like this edgy person over that person, or you just like this more out of a person than that. But you're like neglecting all of the other good qualities that's in this person.
Right.
You know, and then like back on the friend zone, don't you want to have a friendship too or your relationship?
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to unravel on that. Like, but yeah, a lot of them be right by them and they don't even realize it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
it. So, ladies, you heard it here. Men are the prize because, again, what is scarce? That's what we're looking at when we make that statement. What is more scarce in this day and age, right? The type of men that y'all are looking for. Your inboxes are full, your DMs are full, but there's only a certain type of guy who you're responding to and who you're giving a chance, even when you're out in public, out and about. There's only a certain type of guy who you're telling the truth. You're lying to a lot of guys, telling them your relationships, you got a man, or making these excuses you ain't trying to talk to nobody right now. You telling them all these things, but if a certain guy approaches you,
it's on.
who is rare, that's right, is on and popping, and you know it, right? So again, a certain type of man in this day and age, he is rare. Again, even if you look at the stat from the dating sites, the stat from the dating sites is 90% of the single women, I'm sorry, 90% of the single women are only responding or dealing with 20% of the men out there. Now, notice when I said the men, I didn't say single. I just said 20% of the men. So these men could already be in relationships and or married. But all I
Mm-hmm.
know is this: you're dealing with 20% of the men, but 90% of the women who are single are dealing with that percentage of men. So again, the men who you all are selecting and choosing to bond with are rare, which would make that man the prize. And that's my breakdown on that. Any final thoughts before we close out on that?
Yeah, that goes back on how you feel or how somebody make you feel versus the logic.
Right,
Because if it's a team, effort when you're talking about building a relationship, y'all got to be open about what you expect out of a person, what you like in the bedroom, what you like in a guy. You got to be upfront with that person, especially if you
right,
see those good qualities in that person. You know, because some of that stuff that you like in out of these women or out of these guys, um, a lot of times when it's the wrong person, it's only a certain percentage of that person
right,
versus this person. That's what the 80-20 rule, perfect example, right?
right.
You're picking 20 over 80 too often.
Okay, I
So
got
you just eliminated, if quality men are already scarce and you eliminated 80% of the men in general, you definitely left a whole lot of people out
you. Yeah,
of the small portion that's available anyways.
yeah,
So hey, that goes to picking too, knowing what to look for too. So
yeah.
if there's a small percentage of quality men, and if you double down on you not being able to pick a good man or see
Right.
a quality man, yeah, you screwed. You know,
Okay.
because now it's really gonna be hard for you to find somebody.
Right.
So
Yeah. You're 100,
you
man.
know,
That's 100.
which will make us even more of a prize.
Right. Yeah. So, ladies, y'all heard that. Be mindful when you picking or choosing your mate, your spouse, and men also keep in mind that as well. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
men, we're telling you, you are the prize. Does that mean that women are not valuable? No, women are
No, not
very
at all.
valuable, right? I'm happily married. I love my wife. She does it all. Let me say that. She does it all, right? So we're not saying that, we're not down on women by saying that at all. We love women.
Right.
We love women. But again, a certain caliber of men are becoming very scarce and very rare. So that is why we say that right now in 2024, as it's live, as this podcast is being shot, we are saying that men are the prize. Men are the prize. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, that's going to conclude this episode. This is our third show. This is our third show. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Remember to share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. We will do many more episodes. If you're someone who um, is looking forward to or would like to come on the show, feel free to send a message, whether you're inboxing on Facebook or YouTube. You can just comment under one of the videos. You can bring some topics. I'll bring topics or we'll bring topics, and we can break down whatever you want to. Another thing, this is not an echo chamber. We open to all different perspectives. We willing to talk to people from all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? We willing to open the floor to whoever. If you got a voice, bring it to the platform. We will open up to it again. We listening to everything, right? We're gonna discuss everything. Men, women, it doesn't matter. Even if you're older or younger, man or woman, we welcome you aboard, right? And again, if you got topics, maybe you don't want to come on. Maybe you just want to hear us speak on it. Feel free to send a message, right? If it's something you want us to review, feel free to send a link, right? But again, feel free to come on. This is an open panel. I can have up to 10 people on here. Hey, we welcome everybody. Again, thanks for watching. Remember to share this with your family and friends. Also, if you're someone who's in the dating world, relationship world, marriage world, you need tips, you need advice, you need guidance, go visit my website, 6monthsandmarried.com. Let's say it again, 6monthsandmarried.com. There's a course there you can purchase. Also, I also offer coaching calls, one-on-one coaching calls, right? If you just want to talk to me one-on-one, and we can get you going in the right direction. I also have advice on how to meet people, whether it's in person or what dating sites are safe and friendly for that versus which ones you want to stay away from, right? I give you tips and advice on all of that. Whether you're looking to bond and you're someone who has no kids, if you're someone who does have kids, I help people from all walks of life. But tap into that, 6monthsandmarried.com. Also follow me on Facebook, Maurice Speaks. Follow me on TikTok, Maurice Speaks. Follow me on Instagram, Speaks the Beast. Follow me on YouTube, Speaks the Beast. Uh, those are all my platforms. Reg, you got anything you want to say? Any platforms you want them to come follow, where they can see what kind of people check you out at?
Right now, I'm redoing my pages, my YouTube page, and all that type of stuff. Between this and the music and everything, but as far as you know, I'm on Facebook. Just look up Rez Wolf. We got if it comes down to health tips, fitness, like the relationship stuff, I'm here. Just look me up. And you if you can't find me through that, then look for me through Maury. Maury know where I'm at.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, y'all looking for him. I
Yes,
will
sir.
link you to him. I will help y'all find him. But again, appreciate another successful episode. Appreciate you all for watching. All right, guys, it's been a good one. I love you all. Be blessed.